Good morning. I'm Chris Lenski, Grant Specialist with the CTE team at DPI. Welcome to Putting the Pieces Together, the ongoing webcast series related to the Strengthening CTE for the 21st Century, or Perkins 5. In previous webcasts, we provided an overview of the Comprehensive Local Needs Assessment, or CLNA, and the ins and outs of stakeholder engagement. The CLNA has 6 focus areas: the student performance on federal accountability indicators, alignment to labor market needs, size, scope, and quality of programs offered, progress towards implementing programs and programs of study, recruitment, retention, and training of faculty and staff, and progress toward improving access and equity. These provide the roadmap for our next several webcasts. Today, we'll cover the first of these areas, student performance on federal accountability indicators. We'll look at what data to collect, where to find the data, how to analyze the data, and how to summarize the data. The CLNA is intended to ensure that decisions you make about your CTE program are supported by data. So data on student performance is a key requirement of the CLNA. The law requires you to evaluate this data in the aggregate and the disaggregate. The subpopulations that need to be broken out are defined in Perkins 5. To talk more in depth about this process, we've invited Mai Chua Tao, data consultant with the CTE team, to join us. Mai Chua?
Thank you for inviting me to talk about this exciting opportunity for local education agencies to dive deeper into their CTE data. The first step of examining data is to identify the key data that should be used in the analysis. As Chris mentioned, the data should be disaggregated in order to get a clear picture of the students who are participating and succeeding and those who are not. Disaggregating the data refers to breaking out the data and analyzing it according to subgroup populations, such as gender, race, and ethnicity and migrant status, individuals with disabilities, individuals from economically disadvantaged families, including low-income students, individuals preparing for non-traditional occupations, single parents, English learners, homeless individuals, and students who are in or who have aged out of the foster care system. By breaking out the information in this way, and then breaking it out further by program or cluster, you will get a clear understanding of your student performance measures. You'll see who is participating and who isn't, who is succeeding and who isn't, and which programs are thriving and which are not. This will give you an opportunity to then explore the why behind the data. In other words, what is contributing to the outcomes both positively and negatively. Next, identify the resources that may be helpful to you in the data collection and analysis process. Start with the obvious, your CTE district profile data. Then examine your CTERS files and then disaggregate. Compare that data to your district report cards, ESSA, and other roster data that may be relevant. For your analysis, you will need to reach out to your data stewards. They can help format the data in ways that are easy to understand. Here are some resources that may be helpful to you in this process. As mentioned, consider using the Perkins CTERS district profiles. You'll find these on the CTE data webpage. The CTERS district profile paints a picture of your district's overall performance measures of the federal accountability indicators. Another data resource to use in your data collection and analysis are your CTERS files, including your composite enrollment report and the graduate follow-up report submitted for the past several years. Your district already has the raw data that will allow you to aggregate and disaggregate by CTE CTE program, special population groups, and any other variables. You may also use WISE- for districts, which is your district's secure site for student data. WISE- for districts will allow you to explore various data at a student level. We strongly encourage districts to take advantage of the different types of dashboards, filters, and visualizations that are available in this platform. Users can filter and therefore disaggregate data by various subgroups, schools, school years for trend analysis, and other important data variables. Districts can also turn to publicly available data resources, such as WISE- Public Portal for summary level data. Unlike the secured WISE- for district site, data from the public portal is redacted and is displayed at an aggregate or summary level. Use the public portal when trying to understand overall district level data and trends over the years. The public portal also makes it easy to generate data visualizations. Other helpful resources for pulling data include your district and school report cards, your district's ESSA accountability report, which can be used to paint a picture of student performance, the Data Inquiry Journal, and WISE Explorer, which provides a tool that a number of districts have been using for their continuous improvement efforts under ESSA, and finally, any other local reports generated and maintained in your district student information system. How do you go about analyzing your data? First, work with those responsible for data collection and maintenance of your data records for your service area. They can provide longitudinal, disaggregated, program level, and student level data. Ask them to provide it in an easy to read format so that the key trends stand out. Second, create or generate data visualization tools using tables and graphs that compare each of the subgroup populations to its appropriate comparison group, disaggregated by program or cluster. Third, examine data to identify significant differences in performance between subpopulations and across programs, noting areas of success and areas of concern and trends in participation, gaps, and performance. Once data and specific trends are identified, you will be in a better position to determine the underlying meaning, implications, and root causes of success as well as underperformance. Another approach to evaluating student performance is to compare data for CTE concentrators to a similar group of non-CTE students. For secondary students, it would be most telling to look at differences in graduation rates, academic performance, and placement. Once you've had a chance to digest the data, then supplemental surveys, interviews, and focus groups with different stakeholders can shed additional light on missed opportunities, potential strategies, and resources. Bring your stakeholders together to discuss the outcomes, discoveries made. Begin those discussions on strategies and corresponding best practices that can combat the poor performance and inequities you identify in your CTE programs. You will want to have some questions prepared in advance of these discussions. Here are some questions to consider when analyzing your data. At the program level, ask, how are the students in my CTE programs performing on federal accountability indicators in comparison to non-CTE students? Which CTE programs have the most positive outcomes and which are struggling? Are there CTE programs where special populations are performing average, below average? What are the potential root causes of inequities in my CTE programs? For student level questions about your data and analysis, ask, how are my students from special populations performing in CTE programs in comparison to students without identified special needs? How are my students from different genders, races, and ethnicities performing in my CTE programs? Which groups of students are struggling the most? In which CTE programs are they struggling? Where are the biggest gaps in performance between subgroups of students? In summary, your data and analysis together should tell a story about CTE student participation, performance, and programs in your district. Here again is Chris to offer some final thoughts.
Thank you, Michua. The National Alliance for Partnerships in Equity, or NAEP, has tools that can help guide this process. The document Equity Gap Analysis Local provides lots of information on conducting an equity gap analysis. They also have a resource called Non-Traditional Career Preparation, Root Causes and Strategies. This tool summarizes the research into root causes of inequality and offers effective strategies for addressing root causes related to non-traditional career pathways. In closing, we want to encourage you to use your data in meetings with stakeholder groups. Doing so can help present a clear picture of student and CTE outcomes and can shed light on concerns and inform discussions. If successful, your data will also form the basis for decisions on strategies, priorities, and goal setting for the years ahead. For additional resources, please refer to the Wisconsin Guide for Conducting the Comprehensive Local Needs Assessment, which you can find on DPI's Perkins 5 webpage. On July 22nd, we will have a similar discussion related to labor market information and how to best to access and use it to inform program development.